Thank you very much. That music you're hearing now should be familiar to most of you. It was the theme for Mr. Peepers, one of the really great television shows. Now I'd like you to meet the star of that show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wally Cox.
Not half bad.
Oh, good. Wally and I have been friends for many years. I started my nightclub career about 10 years ago at the Blue Angel in New York City. And Wally and I worked together that same time. And when I finished my act every night, it was about 7 minutes long, as I recall. I used to run out and see Wally, because I loved especially one thing he did, called, well, you did the yodel of...
There's a tavern in the town.
Yeah. Would you do that?
Yes. It could also be called Be Your Own Duet. Could I hear a D for doctor? Thank you. Right? Ooh, there's a tavern in the town, and there my true love sits him down, and he drinks his wine as merry as can be, and never thinks of me. Very well, for I must really do not let this parting greedy, for you know the very best of friends must part. Adieu, kind friends, adieu, yes, adieu, oh, I can no longer stay with you, so I shall hang my heart on a weeping willow tree, and may the world go well with thee, well with thee.
I love that. You know, earlier Wally was telling me that he went to school in Evanston, Illinois, and that he went to school with Marlon Brando. What kind of a man is he?
Well, he's a very funny man, very fine man. But at that time, he was a very sober youth.
He was?
At the age of 9, yes. And he wasn't any fun. And neither was I. He liked boxing, and I hated losing. He said, "You want to play chess?" He would say it in kind of that sort of sound, that sort of face. I'd say, yes, teach me how. So he would get out the board, set it up without saying a word, put the pieces on one at a time. I had to wait for 32 pieces. And then he would move a piece. And then he would say to me, "All right, now you move that piece there." So I did. Then he moved another piece. And he said, "Now you move that piece there." So I did. And then he brought up his bishop and he said, "There, I've won."
You know, all of your humor, I've noticed, is based on truth. You know, based upon actual characters, real people. For instance, the Army man that you did.
Well, he was real, yes.
Yeah.
I was inducted into the infantry in common with the other youth of my day, and I thought it was an ideal service for me. It's the way I saw myself. But there turned out to be basic conflicts between the Army's needs and my capacity. So it turned out that in the middle of each march, I'd be taken into the hospital, where I spent quite a lot of time in the ward where they study people that they had to take in during March. And I was surprised to find that we had inspections in the hospital ward each week. And the fellow who actually just had one stripe and was trying to overcompensate would address us like this before each inspection. "All right, give me your attention, men. Now, you may have had an infantry inspection, but you have never had a medical corps inspection. And you do not know how tough that they can be. When you make these beds, I want them all to be made in such a manner that if you flip a quarter onto them,
They will bounce. The quarters will bounce. Question? Yes, you may use a nickel. Now, when the inspecting officer comes around, I want all these beds to be in the position in which they are now in. Now, do not conceal any personal effects or other articles underneath the pillows of the beds. Because when the inspecting officer comes around, they look underneath the pillows of the beds. And if there's any man found with any personal effects or other articles concealed underneath the pillows of the beds, well, there's always plenty of work for that type man in the kitchen. Now, in a few moments, I want you all to fall downstairs for a dental inspection. When you fall downstairs, I want you all to line up in alphabetical order according to the alphabet of your last name. In other words, if there is a man whose name begins with B, he comes behind the man whose name begins with A. Question? No, if there is no man whose name begins with B, then the man whose name begins with C. Comes behind the man whose name begins with A. Are there any other questions? Question? Well, if your name begins with W, you see me and we'll fit you in.
Wally's got a lot of those stories. Will you come back and tell us some more sometime on the show?
I sure will.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, Wally Cox.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.